God damn, I'm in the car, man. I'm on my way to the store, but some news popped off real quick, so I had to come on here real quick and just put it on. There's nothing more to talk about when it comes to Garry Russell versus Devin Haney. There's absolutely nothing to talk about. We're gonna find out in the next couple of days whether Devin Haney is about that life that he's been talking about, or if he's been clout chasing. We're gonna find out right now. Garry Russell said, you know what? Forget that $2 million BS. F it. He's like, it's not my fault that these fools don't know what they're worth. You know what I'm saying? He says, it's not my fault that they don't know what they're worth. And they're bringing, it's not my fault. But forget all that. Send me the contract for $1.5 million and I'll sign it. That's what he said. So he's basically saying, all right, the amount that you said you're going to give to me, your team said they're going to give to me in order to make this particular fight, send it to me and we're good to go. So there should be nothing more to talk about. They said that they would give him the $1.5 million. Garry is a 126 pounder. He'll be coming all the way up to 135 pounds. You're talking about coming up 10 pounds. What is it? 9 pounds. He'll be jumping up 9 pounds. This is a small dude too. Doesn't rehydrate like that. Well, he sits around, walks around probably around 140. So he's gonna be fighting around his walk around weight. So there's nothing more to talk about. They said this is a fight that he said that he wanted. One of the fights that he said he wanted. This is one of the people that he said he wanted to fight. Well, he agreed to it. So we shouldn't hear anything about Gamboa or fighting Gamboa or any other excuses. There should be absolutely nothing. The only thing that we should be hearing is we sent Garry Russell the offer, he signed the contract, and we got to fight. That's it. All we should be hearing about is a date and a venue, and that's it. So there should be no Gamboa, because they've been talking as if there is no Gamboa up next. They've been talking about as if nothing's been finalized for anything. They've been talking about, how they want this fighter and they want that fighter. They keep putting out all these fighters' names. They keep putting out Lomachenko's name. They keep putting out Teofimo Lopez's name. They keep putting out Ryan Garcia's name. Well, somebody said yes to you. Somebody's not only said yes to you, they said yes to the offer that you gave them. They have said yes to your offer. So we're going to see what it is. Is this going to be a situation where, like, Anthony Joshua asked for $50 million and then they give him the $50 million and then he doesn't take it? Then they say, no, I want to fight at home. And then they say, no, we'll give you a $12 million flat fee, or is it a $15 million flat fee? And Deontay Wilder says, F it, I'll take it. And then they send him a contract with no date and no venue. And then after that, they say, oh, this was ordered. The WBO ordered a fight between us and whoever the hell they fought. And then, but the fight doesn't get done for 2 whole months. Doesn't get completed for a whole month or 2 months. Is it going to be that type of situation? Or are they going to send that contract out? It's going to be a situation where he agrees and there's no response for about a week, 2-3 weeks. Because these are the type of games that we've seen the likes of Eddie Hearn that likes to play. So we're going to be able to see the next couple of days whether, he's really about everything that he said he is. And if he really, truly wants to, do the things that are necessary in order to set up big fights and to push himself to the next level. Or is it a situation where I'm kind of believing that it might be a situation where they want to connect them, they want to connect him to fighters, and they want to keep him on the internet. They want to keep people buzzing about him, and they want to keep people talking about him, but they don't want to necessarily put him against that level of competition for a while. They want to just live off of that, because that's what they do. That's Eddie Hearn's style. Even with like a Dillian White, where Dillian White had the opportunity to fight for the WBA mandatory, but he turned that down. He had the opportunity to fight for the IBF mandatory against Poulin, but he turned that down. He had the opportunity to take on Dominic Brazil at one point, taking his mandatory spot, but he chose to fight somebody else instead. Dominic Brazil was going to come to the UK, but he chose not to fight Dominic Brazil. So is it going to be one of those situations? Is it going to be one of those situations? Is it one of them situations where they quote he's offered Charlo all this money to fight Demetrius Andres, and he always says number. Oh, we offered him $7 million. We offered him $8 million. But then all of a sudden, when he's showing everybody his text message or his email that he sent to them on Instagram, all of a sudden now he's covering up the amount of money that was offered. Even though he supposedly told everybody, but all of a sudden now he wants to cover up the amount of money that was offered. Is it one of those things? Or Danny Jacobs supposedly wants to fight him, but then a mandatory a fight is called between him and Jacobs, and they turn that down. Jacobs says, "No, we're not doing that." Eddie Hearn says, "No, we're not doing that right now." And then later on, Danny Jacobs is having a fight, they starts calling out Charlo before the Chavez Jr. fight, calling out Charlo. Then he does a Chavez Jr. fight, and boom, we never hear about Charlo ever again after that. Is it going to be one of those situations? I'm not saying these fighters are scared of anybody, by the way, too. I'm not even saying that. I'm saying there's a particular plan that these certain promoters sometimes have, and they have a certain way of moving, and these fighters follow that path that they have set up for them. I'm not saying that Terrence Crawford is scared of any of these guys from the PBC, but he's going to follow that Bob Arum blueprint. He's going to follow the blueprint of, we're going to talk about wanting these fighters. Oh, all these fighters want to fight us now? Well, let's stop talking about them and say no. What we want is these two fighters who are the champions. Before us, everybody is scared of us. But now, oh no, it's just because we want to fight these two champions. We just want to fight the champions. And you just do it that way. Yet you still keep fighting other people, but you try to utilize the name or the potential of certain, quote, fights happening, or fighters, quote, being scared of you in order to try to promote you and push you. And hopefully people come to see you and people come to watch you. You get viewerships off of that, and you ride that for as long as you can. But you never actually set up any kind of fight like that unless you control both sides, where the promoter wins regardless of what happens. Unless it's that type of situation. Unless you're going to make so much money off a fight, you're literally looking like, hey, in this one fight, we're going to make what would make it 8 fights or 9 fights or 10 fights. And he's at the latter end of his career, so okay, let's do it now. What are they doing when it comes to this kid? I have questions on it. Just because of the movement and the way things that they've been doing for a little bit now, it's made me question it. And it's made me ask questions of what exactly are they doing? What exactly is their plan? Do they really want this kid to face his levels of competition and face these guys now? Or is it just talk? And again, I'm not saying any of these guys are afraid of each other, but I am saying he is signed to Eddie Hearn, and there is a certain way of Eddie Hearn moving. Tevin Farmer, I want Tank. Finally, his contract with DAZN is done. They offer him $2 million to fight on pay-per-view. All of a sudden, that offer was a joke. He goes, fights for $500,000, gets his ass kicked, he loses his belt, and we don't even know if he's going to get his rematch. But he turned down $2 million. Oh, we offered Tank $8 million. Tank made a substantial amount of money off the guy he fought. He made a substantial amount of money off Gamboa, and now he's about to do a pay-per-view. And he stays in full control of everything that's going on that pertains to him in his fights. So, so they basically use the possibility of fighting Gervonta Tank Davis to push this kid and to push, people talking about him being on the internet, him being socialized about, bringing attention to his fights because of it. But when it really came time to get something done, they just said hell no. They laughed and scoffed at the offer that was given to them. So is this what they're doing with Tevin Farmer, or they're doing something different? We get to find out, and we get to find the next couple of days. But for now, like, subscribe, share. I'm out.